happening now. Hurricane Irma just beginning its path of destruction as it rakes the Virgin Islands. Will Florida be its final landfall? Karen?
Ben, Florida residents are doing everything they can to get ready for Irma. Grocery stores are packed, gas stations running on empty. Here at home, 5 different police raids, 5 suspects. What we've learned about this massive investigation in Metro Detroit. Hi, Sandra.
Hi there, Karen. Our special report, Opioid Nation, is starting right now. These experts you see here, they are ready to answer your questions about opioids and addiction. It's affecting families all across Metro Detroit. The number is on your screen right now. We're going to show it to you again. Again, our WDIV phone bank is open first at 4.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Hurricane Irma roaring through the Caribbean, ripping into islands with heavy rain and howling winds. This video captured in St. Martin as the storms march toward the state of Florida, where the warnings are dire.
Think about your family. We can rebuild homes. We just cannot rebuild your family.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Karen Drew. Irma is the most powerful Atlantic Ocean hurricane in recorded history. This Category 5 storm is massive. Just take a look from the view from outer space. Our team coverage starts right now with Ben Bailey, who is tracking the hurricane's path. And Ben, it is hitting the Caribbean islands. That video is breathtaking.
The video was, the audio even worse, just listening to the sound of this storm as it really rolls into the Virgin Islands. We're finally getting a radar view of Irma. We've had to look at it from satellite, but as it nears Puerto Rico, we're actually getting a closer look on the radar, and it still looks just as ominous. There you see that very defined eye wall as it slides away from the Virgin Islands. Right now, if it continues on this path, Puerto Rico, San Juan especially, should be spared the worst of Irma, but is still going to get impacts. In fact, we can get some wind speeds right now, 21, 28 miles per hour there in Puerto Rico. A lot of the equipment here in the Virgin Islands has been destroyed by that storm, so that's why we're not getting wind speeds there. St. Croix at 33 miles an hour, the latest check. So here's the forecast. First off, the 4 o'clock advisory is in. The Hurricane Center now doing hourly updates. 185 miles per hour. It's still a Category 5 storm. This is going to continue north of Haiti and the Dominican Republic. It'll probably roll through the Turks and Caicos and go just north of Cuba. But as of this point, this is where the models are starting to turn the storm. And even though the forecast track has this barreling into Miami on Sunday morning, there is still a lot of uncertainty. In fact, probably a lot more uncertainty about where it's going to go. But if it does continue up the eastern side of Florida, could have a second landfall in the Carolinas. We'll have to watch it very closely. Our Kimberly Gill has the latest on preps as they're going on down in Florida, Kim.
Yeah. Hi, Ben. And as you know, the head of the National Weather Service says he is very concerned about the impact Hurricane Irma could have on the Florida Keys. The Keys will likely be the first part of the country to get hit by Irma, which has already blasted islands, as you said, in the eastern Caribbean. Hurricane Irma pounded the island of St. Martin with 185 mile per hour winds. The Category 5 hurricane is moving west toward Puerto Rico, where winds are already whipping up and rain is beginning to fall. Irma is due to hit Florida this weekend from the Keys in the south to Jacksonville in the north. All of Florida is preparing for Irma. Tourists are leaving, residents are stocking up on supplies, but even big box stores have empty shelves in the rush to prepare. Florida's governor is warning people to take this very seriously.
It is incredibly important that all Floridians keep a close eye on this incredibly dangerous storm. Do not sit and wait for this storm to come. It is extremely dangerous and deadly and will cause devastation. Get prepared right now.
Yeah. Employees are just apologetic, saying, I'm sorry, we're doing the best we can. Come back tomorrow, we're out of water. People are piling up with Gatorade. An elderly couple who said they're out of water, but there's beer and wine.
Well, Florida's governor plans to have all 6,000 National Guard troops on duty by Friday when Irma is expected to arrive in the state of Florida. Meanwhile, at the White House today, President Trump says his administration is closely watching the hurricane. The president said, quote, "We'll see what happens. It looks like it could be something that could not be good." Karen, Ben, I will be back at 5 as we continue to track this very powerful storm. For now, we'll send it back to you.
All right. Thank you very much, Kim. Appreciate that. NBC's Nightly News with Lester Holt has reporters covering every angle of the storm. You can join him tonight at 6:30. That's right here on Local 4. Back at home, 5 suspects are behind bars after state police conduct 5 raids across Metro Detroit this morning. Local 4 has learned that all of these raids are connected. You're looking at the scene from one of the locations on the city's west side off Allendale near Grand Boulevard. Police say the raids are part of an investigation connected with 3 homicides and a carjacking. We are hoping to learn more about the suspects soon, and we'll have a live update on this story tonight at 5. We have become an opioid nation. This crisis now an American epidemic for people hooked on opioids. Getting and staying clean can be a lifelong battle. Today's special event continues with a look at a program called Hope Not Handcuffs, which already has helped 484 people into recovery. Our Sandra Ali is here to show us how that program works. Sandra.
Hi there, Karen. Well, you know, addiction experts are here right now to answer your questions. You want to call the number you see on your screen. That number, and we've been giving it out, is 844-WDIV-HELP. And you can also go online to our website, clickondetroit.com, for a web chat that is going on right there. But for right now, the young man you're about to meet, he started popping pills during his sophomore year in high school. His addiction really spiraled completely out of control. He landed in jail and nearly died until we talked to him, and he says he was saved by an angel.
You know, in order to feel normal, I had to be high or I had to be drunk just to be able to cope with life.
Luke Kajawa remembers trying opioids for the first time in high school.
I was drinking a 5th a day of Crown Royal every single day, and taking, I mean, if I could get my hands on it, I was taking about 10 Norcos a day.
For Luke, that was just the beginning. If he had trouble getting pills at school, he managed to get them at home.
Mom, this hurts. Here's a Norco. Mom, this hurts. Okay, here's a Valium. And then I realized that if I took more than I should, I'd get this, you know, overwhelming feeling, and I liked the feeling it gave me.
How many were you taking, like, in a day?
Sometimes I would lose track, but I would start out with at least, on the max, I would take about 10 at one time.
10 at a time?
10 at a time, yeah.
Like in one sitting?
Just take all 10 at once, yeah.
Trapped in a vicious cycle, Luke says he knew at this point he couldn't stop even if he tried.
It basically would just almost put me to sleep. I mean, how like a heroin addict, you know, nods off. I mean, that's kind of what I would do.
After a 10-year struggle with opioids, Luke hit rock bottom. He was arrested and spent more than 38 days in the Macomb County Jail. When he was released, he didn't head home. He waited in the lobby and made a desperate call for help.
I told them that I have a problem with addiction, and they sent an angel out.
That angel is Aaron Witkoff.
He seemed just done, you know, he was done using. And
Aaron is a volunteer with Hope Not Handcuffs, an initiative of Families Against Narcotics, where anyone struggling with addiction can walk into any police department in Macomb County and let the officer on duty know they need help.
And the angels have showed up, and it's been a godsend. It's, you know, the success rate, from what I'm being told, is just phenomenal.
Aaron was working the night Luke was released from jail.
She sat with me and we talked, and she made all the phone calls and called Sacred Heart and was able to get me in the next day.
And today they're seeing each other for the first time since that night.
he just looks happy. He looks genuinely happy and fulfilled.
Luke says he owes it all to Erin. He believes she saved his life.
For me, that's a really gratifying experience to be able to sit down in front of someone who's ready for help right now, and I can help them. It's really the most rewarding volunteer experience I've ever had.
And not a day goes by where I don't think about, you know, drugs or alcohol. I mean, that's the honest to God truth. If you can admit that you're powerless over drugs and alcohol, that's half the battle.
Such a strong and important message. And again, back here live, we do have experts with us today. They are from Families Against Narcotics, the Brighton Center for Recovery, Detroit Wayne Mental Health Authority, and also the Oakland Community Health Network. They are all here to take your questions until 6:30 tonight. Again, we want to give you that number. It's 844-WDIV-HELP. And Karen, I got to tell you, the phone lines have been ringing ever since we went on the air, so that is a really good sign.
It's such an important issue, and it's so great that we're able to help some of these people with these phone calls. calls. All right, that phone bank open till 6:30 tonight. Thank you, Sandra. And our coverage continues at 5 with my Defender's report on fentanyl, a drug more potent than heroin. I'm going to take a look at how that drug is now affecting the opioid crisis and what the DEA is doing about it. Then at 5:30, how the crisis is affecting the state's foster care system. At 6, Dr. Frank McGeorge takes a look at the challenges of treating addiction. Still ahead, first at 4, mislabeled moisturizers. New research shows why many people are struggling to find body lotions that don't irritate their skin. More than 1 million consumers are being warned to keep children away from this dresser. The potential danger and what you need to know to fix the problem. Up first, a United States senator on trial. Why the outcome of this criminal case could affect the balance of power in Congress and all Americans.
The Kid, coming up all new on Local 4 News at 5 and 6.
We're working on this story you'll see only on Local 4. First, I want to show you some pictures here. This is a dog named Gracie. Heartbreaking pictures of Gracie and her injuries. She was stabbed this week by a person trying to break into the home that Gracie, the dog, was trying to protect. We'll be speaking with the dog's owner and also tell you about a lot of medical attention that Gracie needs, and the family now needs help getting Gracie the help that she needs. That's coming up on Local 4.
All right, thank you, Sean. First at 4, we're on top of stories making headlines all across America. And we start with a United States senator facing criminal charges. We're talking about Democratic Senator Bob Menendez of New Jersey. He's facing corruption charges, accused of lobbying for a Florida eye doctor in exchange for political donations and gifts. Menendez says he is innocent of all the allegations against him. Republicans are already watching the trial, saying Menendez should step down if convicted. If he is forced to give up his seat, Republican Governor Chris Christie would then name his replacement, giving the Republicans another vote in the closely divided Senate. President Trump's new immigration battle is now headed to court. 15 states and the District of Columbia have sued to block the president's plan to end the so-called DACA program. It was designed to protect young immigrants brought to America as children from deportation. The Trump administration wants to phase out DACA, giving Congress 6 months to come up with an alternative. Michigan is not involved in the states that are involved in this case. In this Help Me Hank consumer alert, more than 1 million dressers are being recalled as potential dangers to children. Federal regulators are sounding the alarm because there's a risk the dressers could tip over if they're not secured to the wall. One 4-year-old has been injured. The mainstay dresser comes in 6 colors. It was sold at Walmart and other retailers nationwide, as well as online at walmart.com. Consumers can contact the manufacturer, Ameriwood Home. They can get a repair kit to properly anchor that dresser. For now, keep those small kids away from the dresser until it's fixed. In good health, a new study shines a spotlight on mislabeled moisturizers, and some of the numbers are pretty startling. This information is especially important for anyone suffering from eczema, psoriasis, or sensitive skin. Scientists at Northwestern University tested the 100 top-selling whole-body moisturizers. Nearly half of the products marked as fragrance-free did have potential allergens. 80% of those labeled as hypoallergenic were not. Products labeled as dermatologist recommended were usually more expensive. The authors of the study say these inaccurate claims make it harder to find moisturizers that won't irritate sensitive skin. Ben is back, and so is our big story, Irma. We are talking about its impact and exactly where it's going, and we just know so many people have homes in Florida, have relatives in Florida, and just really worried what's going to happen in the next couple of days. Almost all of us have somebody we love or care about who's down there trying to decide what to do, because the forecast right now still has some uncertainty in it. But what is certain is this storm is a monster, and we've told you all season that we now have this new GOES 16 satellite. We have never seen Category 5 storms like this from space. What you're looking at is not a computer model or some sort of visualization. These are actual pictures taken from space every minute and then looped.
I mean, look at that. You can see right into the eye wall. You can see the surface of the sea and how everything sort of moves up like a stadium. That's what the hurricane hunters say when they fly through these storms. That's what it looks like. Just a very impressive eye wall. The good news for Puerto Rico is this storm is starting to move more northwest. So it looks like at least the core of the eye may stay to the north of Puerto Rico, but it is this north front quadrant. That's the strongest part of the storm. So thank goodness for Puerto Rico, that's on the other side. So we'll be watching that very carefully. But when we actually look at the radar signature that is with this storm, which apparently we may not see, there it is. We're going to look at some of the wind speeds within this. Look at this, 172 miles per hour. That's what the radar is measuring. Now, this is pretty far away from the radar site. It's about 70 miles away, so that's pretty high in the air. But nevertheless, that is a very good indication of the type of power that Irma has. Back home, we're looking at generally dry conditions. We got a few scattered showers and a couple lightning strikes out there. We're going to see scattered showers in spots for the rest of the afternoon and early evening. Everything should fade, though, as we head towards sunset tonight. 65 degrees as the cool weather continues, and you can see how these showers are going to fade by 12 o'clock. After that, we're looking at partly cloudy skies. And by the way, if you get a chance, poke your head out tonight. We have a very low chance of seeing the northern lights. Much better shot for folks in northern lower Michigan. But give it a shot, especially as those clouds clear tonight. Otherwise, tomorrow we get a little bit better chance of showers and some thunderstorms, but we are not anticipating anything severe. 49 tonight for overnight lows. As we look at high temperatures tomorrow in your 4-zone forecast, these are going to be the coolest that we have to contend with. 66 will be one of our warmer numbers in the city. Mid-60s here in our south zone as well. And once you get out on the other side of 275, anywhere between 62 and 64 is what we're looking at. And north of M59, looks like you'll escape the 50s, but just barely. A lot of 61s up there in Sanilac County. 7-day forecast finally gets us into the 70s over the weekend. We got a lot of sunshine to go, and the possible effects of Irma could start rolling in here on Tuesday and Wednesday. A lot depends on where that storm makes landfall, so we'll keep an eye on it as it barrels towards Florida. Karen?
Still ahead, Chipotle doing something it's never done and finally giving customers a new menu item they have been asking for. Also, how about something sweet? How scientists created a new kind of chocolate. And look at this video, the uninvited guest that made this family a viral sensation. More on the video in our trending stories when First at 4 continues. But before we do go to break, we want to show you this phone number again, 844-WDIV-HELP. That is 844-934-8435. Experts are standing by right now to answer your questions about the opioid epidemic sweeping through Michigan as well as our country. If you need help, advice, or perhaps know someone who may be in trouble, give our experts a call. They'll be able to help. We'll be right back. In trending stories, Chipotle is hoping a new menu item will help win back some more customers. While many customers have been requesting queso for a while, Chipotle stayed away from that because of the additives used in many other quesos. The chain has been testing its version at a few stores and says it will use only real ingredients, which may affect the quality of each batch. Chipotle launches queso nationwide on September 12th. Chocolate lovers are about to have another option. Your eyes are not deceiving you. Take a look. It's pink chocolate. It's actually called Ruby, and we are told that it has a fruity berry-like flavor. We're told scientists created the new treat using the Ruby cocoa bean, and no berry flavor or coloring's been added. The new chocolate comes 80 years after white chocolate was first introduced to the market. I'm so testing that.
The only thing I like in my chocolate is peanut butter. That's it.
You don't like white chocolate?
Nope.
Or
nope.
No?
Real chocolate or Reese's, and that's
it. All right. Well, then I'll do the taste test on that one. If you've ever had a live bat inside your home, you know it can be pretty chaotic trying to get that thing outside. That's one reason the video you're about to see is going viral.
There's a bat! Look at the bat! Get it back! Look at the bat! Get it back out of the house! Mom, will you get house?
Videos made in Ireland and shared on Snapchat. Young man was filming as his father's desperately using kitchen towels trying to get that bat out. The video doesn't show exactly what happened to the bat, but it does look like they finally got rid of the bat. The video has been viewed more than 1 million times. Still ahead, grab something to write with. Our special report, Opioid Nation, continues, and we're going to give you a number to call if someone you know needs some help. We'll be right back. All right, don't forget, these experts are standing by right now to answer your questions about the opioid epidemic sweeping through our country, affecting so many of our families and friends. They're here to help give you advice in terms of resources and other types of help you may need. That number is 844-WDIV-HELP. Now, the phone lines will be open through 6:30, so please give them a call. Our special event continues through the 5 and 6 o'clock newscast with in-depth stories looking at the many facets of this issue, all leading up to our live special tonight at 10 o'clock. You'll hear from doctors, addicts, even a former drug dealer on how we can fight this crisis together. We sure hope you'll join us tonight here on Local 4 at 10 o'clock. Thank you so much for joining us for First at 4. We are back in a half hour with Local 4 News at 5. Meantime, Inside Edition is next.